But so I decided, okay, I'm going to focus on gratitude to try to become a little more optimistic. And I read this study as I was studying gratitude. It was talking about how college students, they had them write in a gratitude journal. They had them write in a gratitude journal every day. They would just write 3 things they were grateful for in these gratitude journals. And these college students reported that they slept better, they had sleep less, they got better grades, just so many positive results came from the mere fact of writing daily in a gratitude journal. And so I started doing it as well. And it was really cool to see the slow impact it had on my life. Like, it didn't happen right away. But I noticed that my default setting shifted upwards. And I say default setting, for me that means like if I wasn't really happy or if I wasn't like really discouraged or sad, this is just kind of my set point of where my mood would sit. And I noticed it started to elevate, and I did start to be more optimistic and more positive. And you know, I like to think about it. Our minds are these powerful working, you know, parts of our lives, and we cannot control our automatic responses because we have these neural pathways in our minds that just fire. And that's where I found myself. I had found myself having my neural pathway automatic response was firing to a negative thought often. That was the direction it was going. But the more we exercise muscles in our body, the stronger they get, and the more likely we are going to use those muscles. If we only worked out this arm, this is the arm I would use to lift everything because it would be the stronger arm. So by writing in a gratitude journal or thinking and focusing on gratitude more often, I actually strengthened the neural pathway in my mind that led to optimism and gratitude and positivity. And by so doing, eventually it got stronger than the negative neural pathway. And so it became my automatic response. And it's pretty incredible that you can do that. That's how you create habits, is by changing the strength of your neural pathways, deciding that you want to work on one so it becomes the path of least resistance for your thoughts and for your patterns and for your habits. You know, and it's been really cool to see what a difference it made in my life by just doing something so simple. Literally every night to this day, I write 3 things I'm grateful for every single day. And, you know, recently we've had some pretty stressful things happen on tour, and I was, you know, talking to my mom and my sisters about it, and they were like, you seem very, very calm. You seem like the Lindsey from several years ago would probably be freaking out right now. They're like, you seem very calm about all this. And I just thought to myself, well, yeah, I'm just grateful to be here. Every show, I'm grateful I get to do it. And it really is a result of changing just minor habits in my life that has made me a just much more at ease, happy, positive, optimistic person. So that's why I wanted to give you a gratitude journal. I hope that you use it, and I hope that it brings you the same amount of joy that it's brought me. With that being said, I also like to do a question and answer. So do you guys have any questions? Yeah. I do. I definitely still get stage nerves, stage fright. Thank you, Taryn, protecting my hat. But I would say every tour I have to go through this cycle several times where I have to relearn how to deal with nerves. And especially on this tour, because we hadn't toured for a year and a half, and just like your chemistry in your body actually changes when you get nervous. And so like adrenaline is hitting you, there's like energy, there's all the thoughts, like just so much chemically happens in your body when you get nervous. And it takes a lot of time, or not time, it takes practice to learn how to deal with that. And so every tour I have to kind of reapproach these feelings and be like, how do I do this? And I do a lot of, I do breathing exercises every night before I come on stage. I also do a meditation with my dancers together. We all meditate to kind of combat those nerves, and it's great doing it as a team. It kind of makes me feel like I'm not stepping on the stage as me, I'm stepping on as a team. And I also talk to my therapist probably every other week to like really talk through stage nerves. Like that's something we talk about. And so I think it's very normal for certain people. Some people get over it and they stop being nervous. I think I will always get nervous, and it's something that I think I'll always have to just learn to manage, but I've learned to manage it. And so it's something that I no longer fear. It's something that I just, here she comes again, here come my nerves, I just have to now deal with it. And it's okay. When I was your age, I used to get so nervous nervous that my mom would take my hands at my recitals and she would wipe them on her jeans before I go play at my recital, try to dry off all the sweat before I walked up to play because I would get that nervous. So, you know, my hands still sweat. It's fine. I don't have my mom here to wipe them off anymore, but it's all good. Any other questions? Yeah. Sorry, what?
How did you get into violin?
How did I get into violin? When I was really little, I was brought back to a memory. The other day, we were in Minneapolis, and there was this little concert happening at this park, and there was like a guy playing guitar and an old guy playing piano, and there was a bunch of it looked like a lot of people from a retirement community had come out to watch this little show in the park, and I was like, that is something my dad would have taken me to as a kid. He loved taking us to any free concerts he could find, because they didn't have a lot of money, and so a lot of the free community events they could find were like community orchestra concerts, and so they would take me to those, and I just remember thinking that the violin looked like the fun instrument of the orchestra. It got all the solos, it got all the fast parts, and so I started asking for violin lessons when I was 6, and yeah. That is a very common question I get from moms sitting next to their daughters at concerts. How much did you practice? Listen, when I was a kid, I practiced 30 minutes, and then as I got into like junior high, well, definitely high school, I was practicing an hour a day, and then when I had like auditions coming up, I practiced even more, but an hour a day was kind of my sweet spot when I was in high school. And now it totally depends. It totally depends. I try to play or practice an hour a day before I come on stage. Some days it just doesn't always happen, but that's my goal every day on tour. Is I like to get in an hour of playing throughout the day. Yeah. What kind of feelings do I get? Oh my goodness, it totally depends. I mean, when I'm on stage, I feel like I sometimes get this feeling that this is what I was created to do. Like, this brings me so much joy, you know, and sometimes when I'm practicing, the feelings are, oh gosh, my pinky finger, if only. You don't have any idea how much I think about my pinky finger when I'm practicing, how frustrated I get with both of them. But, so it totally depends. Those darn pinkies. I just don't even know. Yeah. You know what? As an adult, I still work on that. I hate to tell you, those darn pinkies, they share a tendon, so like they have a hard time controlling themselves. So it takes a lot of energy.